Welcome back. Let's talk half-tracks. So, today we're going to look at the two premium half-track squads that came out. The 125th Panzer Grenadier Regiment of the 21st Panzer Division and their Soviet counterpart. Pull them up. The Motorized Infantry Battalion of the 95th Tank Brigade. So since I have them up, the 95th Tank Brigade, their description says they were formed in February 1st, 42 in the Moscow region, assigned to the 9th Tank Corps. After that, they took part in battles on the western and central fronts and operations in the territory of Ukraine, Belarus, Poland, and ended up in Berlin. As opposed to them, the 125th Panzer Grenadier Regiment of the 21st Panzer Division was formed in 41, stationed in France. In 42, it went to North Africa and took part in El Alamein and the Kasserine Passage battles. It was destroyed, but it was reconstituted in 43. In 44, it took part in battles against the Allies in Normandy, but was again destroyed in the Falaise Gap. And at the end of the war, it was transferred to the Eastern Front in the area of the Oder River. So, what are you getting? You're getting two half-tracks. One is a Lend-Lease from the Americans to the Soviets. The other one is an SDKFZ 251x1. And I guess we'll start by looking at the German one first. Now, mind you, the squads mirror each other, so some of this will be the same. You get access to up to 2 assaulters, up to 2 machine gunners, up to 1 AT soldier, you have to take 1 driver, and up to 1 radio operator. They can be equipped with any weapons that their classes normally can take. They can be swapped out for different ranks of their classes. There's nothing in their upgrade tree that you can mess with, except I guess you can swap a backpack for a second primary on the APC driver. In addition to that, the APCs act as mobile spawn points as long as they are further than 50 meters from an objective. They offer some protection from incoming fire. They offer a weapon. That's basically the overview of what they are. Now, as to what I think of them, they're kind of a side grade to the trucks. Initially, you might look at them and think, this is a half-track. It's gonna be amazing. And I think that that is probably not the case. They're not bad by any means, but you should understand what they are before you jump off the deep end and get them. So, what you're getting with the tech tree trucks is essentially the ability to rush points and the ability to create spawn points for your team without taking the time to build them. And you're getting that same benefit set with the half-tracks. Now, both sets are 6-man squads. With the trucks, you're going to have to level them up. With the trucks, you're going to have 3 specialist choices. So, you're going to have your APC driver. Then you're going to have a choice between an assaulter, a comms officer, and a machine gunner. You'll have a second choice between an assaulter, a sniper, and a medic. And you'll have a third choice between a machine gunner and an AT soldier. So, comparing them to each other, both of them are going to have an APC driver. Both of them have the potential to have 2 assaulters or 2 machine gunners. However, In the premium one, you can always take 2 assaulters and 2 machine gunners. In the tech tree version, you can take 2 assaulters or 2 machine gunners. And in the case of tech tree version, if you're taking assaulters or machine gunners, then, like if you take an assaulter and a machine gunner, then you're giving up the communications soldier and you're giving up the AT soldier that you can get in the premium half-track. So the premium half-track, you can get 2 assaulters, a machine gunner, a comms guy, and an AT guy, and you can have all of that in one package. So there is some benefit there. In the tech tree version, you're only getting 3 specialists, so you're not getting quite as many. But you do have a little bit more choice in that you can take a sniper and you can take a medic, and those aren't options in the premium one. Additionally, the tech tree ones can take riflemen, and the premium one does not take riflemen. Beyond that, the premium squads, because they have half-tracks, are resistant to small arms fire, but they're still vulnerable to heavier weapons. So, for example, the German half-track, its armor is 15,886 for front, side, back, and bottom. So, if you hit a mine, it's donezo. If you get shot by some of the heavy machine guns from the sides, you're probably going to take casualties. AT rifles can punch right through you. All of the projectile launchers, they're open topped, so Molotovs can go in the roof. You can, if the people riding in a half-track don't get out and put themselves out when a Molotov goes in the roof, they will all die. You can throw explosive packs in the roof, you can throw grenades up on top. Now, the Russian one is relatively quick, the German one is not. It says the maximum speed is 52 kilometers an hour. In most conditions, you're never going to reach that. It has a terrible first gear, it doesn't handle inclines or rough terrain very well. It feels extremely sluggish, it's slow to accelerate. In general, I find the German one to be not a very good vehicle. It's not enormous, so you can stash it behind buildings or train cars. It's not too bad to hide, but in its stock paint scheme, it is kind of easy to see because it's bright gray. And right now you can't paint it, so you're kind of stuck with that. The upside to the German one over the Russian one is that your driver is not exposed at all. They have armored plates in front of your driver. The only person that's exposed from the front, if you're driving at the enemy, is going to be your machine gunner, and even he has like a blast plate in front of him. The machine gun on top is listed as an MG42. They changed that since the dev server used to be an MG34. The issue that you run into with it is that it takes the same performance as the machine guns that are mounted on other vehicles like tanks. I think that was a mistake. I think they should have based it off of either the machine gun that you carry around, or they should have based it off of the emplaced ones, but it overheats so fast and takes so long to cool down that in most cases it is just not worth shooting. Most of the time, when I'm driving the German half-track specifically, I swap to the driver's seat so that if somebody gets shot like the machine gunner, because he often will get shot when you're driving to the front, it doesn't just stop the half-track. So I basically use it like a battle bus. If the AI wants to shoot out the top, because the passengers can shoot out the top, or if the machine gunner AI wants to shoot, so be it. But I am not driving the German half-track as a fire support vehicle. It could be completely unarmed, and it would not change the way that I play this vehicle, because the gun on top is that bad. It genuinely needs to have its overheat mechanic addressed, because it's got an ammo belt that you'll have to reload. It also overheats, but it overheats so fast that it borders on being unusable. So I think the squad composition makes the squad good, or it gives it value. It makes it alluring, I guess. But the vehicle itself on the German side leaves a lot to be desired. But it is tougher than your average truck. But on the flip side, I imagine most of the trucks are more mobile than it is. Now, I haven't driven the tech tree half-track for the Germans yet. I do have it unlocked, and I know that its listed top speed is slower, so it may well be that the German premium half-track is better than the tech tree one in all aspects, because the tech tree one is completely open. It's a series of benches, it's open top, there's no sides on it, there's no roof, there's no armored anything. Now, looking at the Russian half-track, the biggest drawback to the Russian one is that it has an armored plate that could cover your driver, but for whatever reason, it's flipped up, and you can't flip it down. I assume that this was done to balance it having a 50 cal machine gun on the roof, but again, this 50 cal performs like the 50 cals that you get on like a Sherman, so it's not one-hitting people, it's gonna two-hit most people. It can penetrate vehicles. I took out a Panzer II with it, so it does provide better fire support than its German cousin. In general, I think it's a pretty good vehicle by comparison. It's a lot faster, it does a lot better with rough terrain, it can go up and down hills, it doesn't get stuck as often. It's just your driver's vulnerable, so if somebody wants to take you out, they absolutely can shoot your driver. The machine gun on the roof, while it has the benefits I mentioned before, it still has the issue that it overheats really quickly. It's not so bad, but it's still noticeable. The jury's still out on this one. I'm not sure if it's better or worse than the heavy machine gun that you can build. I think that the ones that you build are still a little bit better, but this one is mobile. And like I said, the 50 cal on the M3 half-track is good enough that if you want to use it as a fire support vehicle in a pinch, you can do that. It can go through Panzer IIs. I imagine if you get the side of some other vehicles, you probably can go through them. It's really not a bad vehicle. I actually genuinely like the M3 half-track. It's got enough pick up and go that it doesn't feel like I could walk to the objective faster, and like I said, it doesn't get stuck as often. Now, I think the biggest issue that I take with the premium half-tracks is that while they do come with soldiers, and they do come with some equipment, none of the equipment that they come with is maxed out. They're all partially leveled pieces of gear, which I don't think any premium squad should ever come that way. And the only premium soldier in the crew is the APC driver. I understand that because you can swap out people that they didn't want to make all of them premium. I just don't agree with that. You have a preset list of 5 specialists. No. 7 specialists that you can potentially put in. Well, I guess it's 6, because the APC driver, even though they're a specialist, you can't swap them out. So you can take up to 2 assaulters, up to 2 machine gunners, 1 AT guy, 1 comms guy. I think what they could have done is treated it like like a tank or a plane, where if you've got, let's say it's a 4-man tank and the crew goes up to 5 because some vehicles can take 5 that operate on that crew, the last guy at the bottom of your list is just not included when you go into battle. I think that's how they should have handled it, and they should have made them all premium soldiers. Because they're not premium soldiers, it means that they don't get the free perk reset that other premium squads do. And they're also not all top rank soldiers. So right now I have 2 Assaulter 3s, Machine Gunner 3s, and AT Soldier 2s in here. But they didn't come that way. Most of those I swapped in. I'm pretty sure the AT guy came in it. The Machine Gunners did not. I think it was rank 2 Machine Gunners, and I think they were rank 2 Assaulters. And, I think the comms guy is... I'm not sure what the comms guy came as, actually. I think he was rank 1. Nevertheless, it's a premium squad, right? So it's a premium squad that comes with soldiers that are not max rank. In my opinion, it should have come with Assaulter 4s, it should have come with Machine Gunner 3s, AT Soldier 2s, and Comms 2. They should have all come in at rank 4 or rank 5 of their, like, stars. I think normally premium squads come in at 4 out of 5, which I think is fine. They should have come in as premium soldiers, so it should have been a premium driver, 2 assaulters, 2 machine gunners, an AT guy, and a comms guy, and then whoever's at the bottom of your list just gets left behind, the same way that tanks handle it, and the same way that planes handle it. The fact that none of them are premium soldiers, the fact that they don't come with fully upgraded weapons, the fact that they aren't max level soldiers, it just feels cheap. I just really don't like the way that these squads came out. Like, they're good. You can do good things with them in game. It's just, for being, I think, a $40 squad, it does not feel like you're getting your $40 value out of this pair of squads. Sure, you're getting armored transports, but if I pull up the premium paratroopers, right? I'm pretty sure they came with fully upgraded AS-44s. I'm pretty sure that I can't fully upgrade an AS-44 right now. Yeah, okay, I just checked. I can't fully upgrade AS-44s. So they came with 6 fully upgraded AS-44 Model 5s. The brand new event paratroopers, they came with fully upgraded Federops, right? So why do the half-track troops only come with stock weapons? It doesn't feel right. And then, if you're gonna go the route where they're not premium soldiers, because you want people to be able to swap them out, right? And you don't want to deal with the extra effort of coding in, like, a slot and having potential bugs and all those issues, right? At least make it so that the soldiers that come in the squad are all top-level soldiers. Like, I don't think that that's much to ask for. As for how they do in-game, you absolutely can make use of them the same way that you do the trucks. They're great at pushing flanks and setting up flanking spawn points. They do alright if you're going to use it as a battle bus to the objective, but it's the same as a truck, where if a tank sees you, you're a points pinata. If AT infantry see you, you're a points pinata. In my experience, if somebody shoots like a Panzerfaust at you, normally it will not just one-shot the vehicle. I've had it where I've gotten hit, lost like 2 or 3 of the crew members, and then jumped out and ran the rest of the way. So it's not the end of the world if you get hit. They do act as pretty decent spawn points in that you can get closer to some of the objectives on some maps than spawn points can. That's not true on every map though. They are seemingly standard at 50 meters from the objective. but there are some maps where you can build a spawn beacon at 50 meters from the objective. It really just depends on the objective and on the map. So, from a novelty value, if I'm going to rank everything in different categories out of, let's say, 10, from a novelty value, I think they're probably a 7. There's no other half-tracks that are armored and armed in the game right now. I don't think they can be higher than like a 6 or a 7 because there's trucks that fill basically the same role, and these aren't like a dramatically different experience in how you approach the same role. From a fun perspective, I would give them a 5. I think loading in and seeing 2 tanks in front of you and another half-track or 2 alongside you, it's really, really cool. But I think the novelty and the excitement wears off after you've pulled them out 2 or 3 times. And after that, it kind of just becomes a shuttle to the front, and every time that I drove to the front, I couldn't help but thinking that if I just brought paratroopers, I'd be there faster, or if I just spawned an assault squad off of a spawn beacon, then I would have more troops, because it's a 7-man squad versus a 6. I'd have more assaulters. I'd potentially have better specialists. I don't know. They're fun, but I think that you can find just as much fun driving a tank, being an assault squad, or being a paratrooper. So, yeah, 5 out of 10. As far as power level goes, again, if we say 10 is the new Soviet paratroopers, 1 is like a 9-man squad of premium riflemen, then they probably rank somewhere around 7. They definitely bring more power than your average premium squad because they do offer you more specialists than most premium squads do. The issue is that of the specialists that they add, depending on the BR that you play at, they can be more and less useful. Putting a radio operator in a non-radio squad, they kind of suck when they're not in radio squads. To be 100% honest, when they're not in a radio squad, they don't get the cooldown bonus on their radios. They don't get access to airstrikes. They don't get access to smoke. All they get is a basic call-in, and it's on a pretty long cooldown. I don't remember exactly what it is. It's 2 minutes in a radio squad. I assume it's like 5 minutes when you're outside of a radio squad. So, if you're running high-rank Germany, you can put an FG-42 on your radio operator. So that's kind of nice. If you're running lower BR, like rank 2, your choice really is, do you want the radio operator or do you want another machine gunner? And this is at like high rank and low rank. At high rank, you might be able to make the argument for the FG-42 because you're going to be more mobile than any of the German machine guns, but that's because all of the German machine guns are designed to be semi-stationary support weapons. So, you can make the argument there. At lower BRs, I don't think you can really make the argument to bring the radio operator, because you can just bring an MG-13. And in a pinch, the MG-13 can play like a pseudo-assault rifle. It's obviously going to take the dispersion debuff when you're moving, but I'd rather have 2 machine gunners and 2 assault troops and the driver and an AT guy than take an extra bolt-action rifle or an Armaguerra. You could make the argument to take the Armaguerra, I guess, if you want the radio operator, but I think on the Russian side, the Russian machine guns at rank 2 are really bad. They have the Beretta, which I think is the better of the two, but if you didn't play Stalingrad, you don't have the Beretta, and I think the Madsen is pretty abysmal. If you can get rank 3 assaulters, and you can get horizontal and vertical on it, it can kind of be usable, and you can make the argument. You might actually be better off just running the comms guy just to have another rifle at rank 2 for the Russians. Now, if you go up to rank 5, it's not even a question. If you're playing Russia, you bring 2 machine gunners, because you can bring 2 RD-44s, or you can bring 2 of the new Maxim Tokarevs. Or you can bring 2 DT-29s. And then your assaulters are assaulters. You're never going to want to give up assaulters. And the AT guy's an AT guy. You really don't want to give him up either. Pretty much at every BR, you want all of the assaulters, and you want the AT guy. Because there's always tanks. All of the AT weapons at their respective BRs are usable. And you want assaulters, because assaulters are honestly the best class in the game. As far as their survivability in higher tier games, the more anti-tank weapons people have, the less survivable they are, and the less viable as a battle bus they become. So, I find that in higher tier games, more often than not, if I bring them in, I try to drive out to one of the flanks, or I'll try to stick it in an alley between buildings, or I just try to use it as a spawn point. I think you can play more aggressively with them in lower tier games, and that's in part because there are fewer projectile launchers in rank 2 games. The AT rifles are going to cause less damage to you and your crew inside. The tanks are going to be slower to react because they have slower turret traverse speeds. In general, I think that they perform a lot better at rank 2 than they do at rank 5, but you can still find success with them at rank 5. It's just using them as a shuttle straight to the point, or using them for fire support, works a lot better at rank 2 than it does at rank 5. I recommend putting, if you're using the Russian ones at rank 2, I recommend PPS 43s or 42s. They're more or less interchangeable on the driver and the assaulters. If you've got the Beretta, use the Beretta for the machine gunners. I have a PTRS and a Mosin carbine on the AT guy, but you could also run a Winchester rifle on him. I have AP mines on them. I recommend running ammo backpacks on everybody because you can't take an engineer, so you can't build an ammo pile. You can make an argument, though, for running small backpacks just because it's going to give your guys more survivability by having more medkits. As far as high tier goes, I have AS-44s on the assaulters, I have a PPSH-41 with a drum mag on the driver, and then I've got RD-44s on the machine gunners, and I have an AVS-36 and a Panzerfaust 100 on the AT guy. As far as the Germans go, I have STG-44s on the assaulters, an MP-717 on the driver, but if you don't have access to that, then any of the other high-tier SMGs would be fine. My pick would probably be the Kirli, but the Italian thing could also be usable. The Beretta M38. The machine gunners, I think it's up to you. I have MG34s with Patron and Trommel magazines. If you prefer MG42s, then take MG42s. If you prefer MG15s, take MG15s. They're all good weapons. I just like MG34s. It's just a personal flavor thing. And then the last guy, the AT soldier, I've got an FG42 too and a Panzerfaust 100. Pretty much everybody has large ammo packs. Pretty much everybody that I've upgraded enough to be able to take a handgun has a handgun. Give them all flasks, give them all AP mines. I did include a shovel on the driver. I've never actually used it, but I figured if I ever get it stuck and it's a slow game, maybe I'll dig the thing out. You never know. Figured it would be something cool to add. But yeah, dumbing everything down into a TLDR, would I recommend them? No, I would not. I think that you get very, very close value out of the trucks for free. I think if you like half-tracks, then they're a worthwhile pickup. I do think that they're more powerful than their tech tree counterpart, but I also think a lot of their power is superficial. And I think in most games, their added power is not actually going to make a substantial difference. So, if you've watched this long, thank you for sticking around. All the normal YouTube stuff, like, share, comment, subscribe. As per usual, get out there, kick ass, take names, and win your games.